Hello, welcome to Watan الكرامة news channel. It is 9 p.m. our time for top stories, and we start with latest developments in the Libyan state. Parliament Speaker Agila Saleh Gueder stressed to the head of the United Nations support mission in Libya Bernardino Leon in a letter sent to him Parliament dialogue as a strategic option. Gueder noted that the Parliament resolution extension for a new term does not conflict with the project draft agreement signed by initials, adding that the decision is not intended to exclude from who join us in the dialogue, but to protect the dialogue from procrastination. UN envoy to Libya Bernardino Leon said that the overall vision of the Libyan situation has become positive despite the dissatisfaction of all dialogue parties. Therefore, Leon added that it is unlikely today that the government awaited reconciliation. Leon noted that the participants in recent dialogue will hold a session for candidates to the government of national unity, stressing that this is a final agreement and a great opportunity for Libya to agree on a government of national unity. He added that this is the final point to make this agreement a comprehensive agreement representing all Libyans. Commander-in-Chief of Arab Libyan Armed Forces General Khalifa Haftar stressed during a meeting with municipal councils on the need to continue the support of the armed forces in its war on terrorism. The head of the municipalities of the Eastern Province Council, Yunus Ad-Shafa, said that the meeting resulted in the consideration of municipal councils are the legitimate body that expresses the views of citizens with the municipalities, and the views are clear that the armed forces are a red line and cannot be touched or approached during the political conflicts. Air Force launched airstrikes on unknown bulldozers trying to get close to the bottom of the Khadba area and Al-Fatayh area on the shore of the Sea and Derna. A source from the city that the bulldozers come after sunset and leave before sunrise to supply the terrorist groups with ammunition and weapons. The source Navy demanded that reinforcement to control this region and targets of any boat or bulldozers approaching a suspicion of suspected people on this beach. And still in Libya, sources reported that a huge explosion shook the headquarters of the outgoing Congress in the capital Tripoli. Security sources confirmed that the bombing comes before a session of conference scheduled to be convened by the outgoing Congress to respond to the latest version of the agreements, which was distributed by the United Nations mission on both sides of negotiations in Moroccan city of Sikhirat, in addition to his position on the anticipated government. And still in Libya, media sources in the French capital, Paris, said that Dr. Ahmed Abdelkader al-Maliha was appointed as Libya's ambassador to the UN Educational and Scientific and Culture Organization, UNESCO. The United Nations Organization for Education, Culture and Science, UNESCO, declared the victory of the city of Amman, UNESCO, of prize for Learning Cities Year 2015 in its annual award developed by international organizations this year to honor cities that work on reinforcing the idea of learning and developments of knowledge and experience. And now we transfer to Yemen. Yemen's Houthi group and the party of former president have accepted a peace plan brokered by the United Nations in talks in Amman, paving the way for resuming negotiations to end month of conflict in the country. Both groups have said today that they had officially on Wednesday notified UN Chief Ban Ki-moon that they were ready to join talks on a settlement based on a 7-point peace plan proposed by the UN in talks in Amman last year. Aid agencies and the UN have raised alarm over the human cost of the war, both from fighting that has claimed over 5,000 lives and from a blockade by the Saudi-led coalition supporting Hadi that they say have brought Yemen close to famine. Citing allegations of war crimes, the rights group Amnesty International today called for states, including the United States and United Kingdom, to stop arming the Saudi-led coalition, which has been bombing Yemen for over 6 months. In his letter dated on October 3, Houthi spokesman Mohammed Abdel Salam confirms that his group and others allied to eat back the 7-point plan. The Russian Defense Ministry said today that 4 of its warships in the Caspian Sea launched 26 rockets at terrorist Daesh group in Syria, which hit their targets earlier in the day, a sign of its new military reach. The ministry says that the rockets have struck targets associated with terrorist Daesh group and Nusra. The rockets would have passed over Iran and Iraq to reach their targets, covering what Defense Ministry Sergei Shoigu described as a distance of almost 1,500 kilometers. The latest display of Russian military power at a time when relations with the West are at post-Cold War low over Ukraine. Russia started its campaign in Syria, saying it would target militant group and terrorist Daesh group, but its planes have also bombed other rebel groups opposed to Syrian President Bashar al-Assad. Moscow's ally Western countries, Arab states and Turkey, who are waging their own bombing campaign against terrorist Daesh group, but also want Assad to leave power, say Moscow is using a terrorist Daesh group as a pretext to target Assad's other foes. Russian President Vladimir Putin said on Wednesday that it was too early to talk about the results of Russia's operation in Syria and ordered his defense minister to continue our cooperation with the United States, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, and Syria. And now we transfer to Ukraine. A decision by pro-Russia separatists to postpone local elections that Ukraine had said were illegitimate was welcomed today by Ukraine President Petro Poroshenko. Speaking to a serviceman at a military department of one of Ukraine's universities, Poroshenko said the postponement was a sign of progress in the faltering peace process. Ukraine Poroshenko said the decision for the fake election set for October 8th and November 1st to be cancelled was taken yesterday, and this word of the biggest threat which impeded the Minsk agreement, as it was on November 2nd last year, that fake elections were held and the peace process was stopped and guns were heard again. It shows that we are able to and will act effectively. The separatists said that the elections which they held set for October 18 and November 1 in 2 regions they control will take place next February, potentially giving time for a compromise that would suit all sides. The concessions by the separatists comes at a time when Russia has adopted a more constructive tone in talks over Ukraine, according to diplomats involved in the discussions who say Russia has influence over the rebels, together with a pullback of light weapons by both sides and signs the ceasefire is holding. My audience, that is the wrap-up of our top stories for today. For much more, you can check our website www.watanilkarama.tv. Thank you very much for being with us. My greeting, Rania Al-Bilidi.
كرامة الوطن هي ثمرة كفاح جيش الوطن. كرامة الوطن هي ثأر لدماء شهداء الوطن.